Hey Clarity, welcome back to Noon Form Meets Flow. We'll take a moment just to tune in, check in before we hop onto our mats. Mat is needed, or carpet or something to pad your knees, like a blanket or pillow, something like that. Water, as I point to my water that you can't see. Yeah, that's it. Unless you want to play some of your favorite tunes. I need to make some new playlists, but I do have playlists available on Spotify that will definitely work for this class. If you'd like to head over, you just look up my name on Spotify. And if you haven't already, find a comfortable seat. And I've been incorporating more Sanskrit lately. So Sukhasana is comfortable seat in yoga, and that means your chest is right over your seat. So you find the center of your seat, and then line up your chest, and then line up your head right over your chest. You can close your eyes or take your attention inward. If you don't feel comfortable closing your eyes, just take a soft gaze or whatever does feel comfortable for you to begin to drop a little deeper into this present moment. Big deep breath in through your nose, part your lips and exhale. Another big deep breath. And exhale. Just taking a moment here to tune in and notice how your body feels before practice. And we'll do this again at the end of practice, and you can sort of begin to see what is offered through this practice. Sometimes just for even showing up and taking a few breaths can completely just rock out your day, just totally shift it in a great way. So just finding your breath here, and you'll hear me reference in class Ujjayi. So I go over it a lot in Stretch and Refresh. So that 11 a.m. class on Mondays and Tuesday mornings, as well as Friday morning. I talk about a lot of breath work that I will reference in other classes. So Ujjayi, just big inhale through your nose, lift your chest, stretch your spine tall, open your mouth, or just gently part your lips for that H sound, almost like fogging up a mirror. If you were to go like that, you'll keep that H sound, and then you'll close your mouth, and it'll be a subtle sound like ocean waves, and then it'll begin to drop even further in as it is an anchor point, the sound of your breath, an anchor point inside. And this is the place we want to move out of in our yoga practice today, and it's the place I want to move out of all the time. But just knowing that this is a place we can drop into and access with our breath is invaluable. So on your next inhale, reach your arms up overhead, look up, stretching through your fingertips, stretching your throat. And rub your palms together, creating friction and heat. Our first tapas or fire that we're building today, just to cup your eye sockets and let that heat hit your eyelids as you blink a little bit. Make your return, part your hands, and walk over to your mat. As I get quickly adjusted to mine, and you'll make your way into tabletop, which is such a popular place for me to start classes, and we'll begin warming up our spine. And in yoga, and we talk about Kundalini energy a lot, and that refers to this energy that is believed to travel up and down the spine. And there's these energy centers called chakras that we talk about in yoga, but the base of the spine is believed to be the dwelling place of Kundalini, which is this energy, and we like to visualize it as a snake that's coiled up 3 times at the base of the spine. And as we tap into this practice through, yes, breath work, yes, meditation, but also in movement, we can begin to harmonize this practice into one and begin to awaken that energy. And so that is my hope for all of our practices as we step from breath work and meditation, still holding on to that as we walk onto our mats, and even still holding on to all of that space we create as we walk out into the world. So with all of that said, this is Form Meets Flow, so sometimes I storytell and give a lot of back-end information on the poses. So for cat, which is the starting pose today, this is in Kundalini Yoga, which is also a style of yoga. This is thought of as a very powerful pose to help awaken the spine, which is that energy center for Kundalini to travel up and down in. So index fingers straight ahead. You want to separate your fingers evenly. You want to grip the floor with your fingerprints and press that inner edge of your palm down. And your wrists are right under your shoulders in the pose. And knees are under hips. And you're pointing your toes straight back. You're going to stabilize your hips right over your knees. Inhale, look up. And this is giving you a stretch in your throat when you look up. Bring that curve into your low back. Stretch your chest down, shoulders maybe even come together a little bit. And then as you exhale, press down with your hands down with the tops of your feet. You're not moving your hips forward or back, just stabilize them. Gaze towards your belly. As you exhale, belly up and in. Inhale, chest down. Look up. Exhale back into cat. Inhale, cow. And this next exhale, we're going to hold cat pose for the inhale and exhale. Hold, inhale. Creating a lot of space, no doubt, in your back body, all around the back ribs. Exhale it out, inhale again. This time, sway your hips side to side, getting into the side back body. And exhale, come to a neutral spine. Flip your paws towards you, so fingers facing your knees, flipping 180 degrees here. Keep a micro bend in your elbows, grip the floor with your fingerprints, and I know your forearms are probably already like, whoa, that's a big stretch. And it is a big stretch. So if you just need to enjoy the stretch and stay on your knees, fine. Otherwise, press down on the top of your left foot, tone your glutes and thighs, and lift your right foot up and back, straight leg. Lower your right hip, lift with your glute. Notice if you've got that cow coming into your back, and work against that. You want more of a straight line from the crown of your head all the way down to your extended toe, stretching in opposite directions. Breathe. Are you still gripping the floor with your fingerprints and keeping that micro bend in your elbows? Lower down. For your second side, press down on the top of your right foot, lift your left leg, stretch back, extend. Lower your left hip, lift with your glute here. Watch your low back. Tone your core, even squeeze your elbows in toward one another. And lower down. Flip your paws, maybe even do some circles or shake gently. I recommend circles instead of shaking. And then just have a seat on your heels, tops of feet on the floor. I have a cut on the top of one of my feet, so if you see me variating in weird ways, it's just to protect myself. But tops of feet on the floor, squeeze your ankles, your thighs, your glutes in. Chest is right over hips once more, head over chest. And release your fingers all the way to the webbing, and then press your palms up toward the ceiling. Lift your chest up, chin up, arms up and back. Big deep breath in, pulling your low ribs up, chest up. And as you exhale, sit deeper. Relax your neck muscles.
Triceps back by your ears, keep pressing up toward the ceiling. Keep squeezing thighs in. Nice and strong. Even tuck your tailbone in as you stretch your sit bone down and crown of your head up. Now hold all that strength, interlace behind you at the small of your back. Squeeze your wrists together, elbows go back. Inhale, chest up. Exhale, fold. Take your head towards your knees, chin towards your shins. Think cat in your back. And try not to lock your elbows. Inhale, rise. All right. My bracelet's coming down here. Make your way into plank pose or top of a push-up. Wrists are under shoulders in plank, hips in line with chest, and heels up over toes. So wiggle until you get long enough. Then bring your feet hip distance. Put some bend in your knees, then hips up and back, down dog. Spiral your shoulder blades away from one another. Press your hands down and forward, still squeeze your elbows and knees in. Spiral your inner thighs down and up along with your hips. Okay, so that maybe didn't make any sense. So you're spiraling inner thighs up, but hips up and back. Even jog out your down dog, warming up your hamstrings a little deeper. All right, shift forward back into plank, and you can lower your knees at any time here, but plank as a pose, just squeezing elbows in, knees in, stretching crown of head forward, looking slightly forward, tone your core. Find that place that's a little shaky and just really tone there and breathe. And lower down onto your belly. Arms alongside, palm facing up for locust 2. You'll inhale, lift everything but your hips up off the ground. Spiral your pinky toes down toward the mat, just making your knees point straight down and spiraling your inner thighs up. Tone your glutes. This is all protecting your low back as you tone and lift higher. And lower down. You can rest your forehead on your hands or your right cheek on the floor. Take a breath, and rest your left cheek on the floor and take a breath. Then back to center. Bring your hands alongside you. And I was gonna skip crocodile. I'm not going to. We're gonna do it just to further warm up our back. So bend your knees. This is one of my arch nemesis pose. So full transparency. I don't want to do it, but we need to do it. So bend your knees. Ankles are in. Point your toes. Interlace your fingers all the way to the webbing behind your head, not your neck. And you can either point your elbows straight ahead or out. Out is going to be way more challenging. Press your head back into your hands. Inhale, lift everything but your hips up, up, up. Tone your glutes to your thighs. Inhale, lift higher. And exhale, release. You can keep your knees bent and just windshield wiper back and forth a little. Making room for your breath and space. And eventually make your way back into down dog. And from down dog, after you take a moment to find your breath, you'll inhale, lift your right leg high for 3-leg dog. You'll step through. And if that's really difficult for you to step through, you can lean to your left first, bring your knee in towards your chest, heel up towards your glute, then step through. Even if you have to grab your ankle, line your shin straight up and down for this lunge. Right hip back, left hip forward. Back leg is up, straight and strong, or it's lowered. You choose. You reach your left hand toward the right corner of your mat, then twist, lowering your right shoulder opening up your chest toward the side, place your palms together and press for a deeper twist. But twist more from your upper back and from your breath, inhaling. Think cat in your upper back, or like you're peeling off a shirt, and then lower that right shoulder, squeeze your left shoulder on your back. And back to center, step back, down dog. Pull your left leg high, step it all the way through. Finding your lunge. So front thigh is parallel, front shin is vertical. Knee is right over ankle. Hips square to the front of your mat. Enter here. Lower your back knee at any time that it's just too much. Reach, crossing toward the front of your mat here. Reach across your thigh, hooking your arm onto your thigh. You can place your palms together. As you twist, lower your right shoulder. Squeeze your shoulders together in your back. You can look down, out, whatever's comfortable for your neck. Back to center, step back, walk your hands back to meet your feet, bend your knees, inhale, half lift, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, and that's just flat back. Your hands might be on your hands might be on your shins, or fingertips might be on the mat. Blocks, wherever you can be here with a flat back and not so flat and not collapsing down. You don't want to just like collapse your back, just bend over. So here, stretch the crown of your head and hips in opposite directions here. And you're just creating length in your spine. So that's on the inhale. And on the exhale, you bend your knees to connect your ribs and thighs. Take your head towards your shins, and then only straighten your legs so much as you can keep the connection of your lowest rib and your thigh. You can let your head hang, press your hands down and forward, feet down and back. Inhale, hands to hips here for half lift and all the way up. For crescent. So palms together overhead, cross your right thumb over left, send your hips to the left, torso to the right, using the cross of your thumbs to pull yourself up and over. Another trick in this pose, even starting from mountain, is to bring your thumbs and kind of just cup right under your armpits here, and then just lift your chest up. So you're literally manually giving your torso some length and lift. Then reach your arms up, triceps back by your ears, palms together, cross, reach up and over, hips to the right, torso to the left. Press down through the outer edge of your left foot. You can even bend in your right knee if you need a deeper stretch. Back to center. Switch the cross of your thumbs, so left over right, and then hips to the right, torso to the left. Pulling up and over, press down through the outer edge of your right foot. Inhale back to center, and let that go. Coming into power pose. You'll begin to, for power pose, ankles and knees in. That'll be more classical. If you need a little extra space, you can, maybe you're carrying a child, maybe you just need that extra space in your low back for whatever reason is valid. Bring your feet hip distance, or even wider if you need, but preferably hip distance or ankles together. Shift your weight from your toes back into your heels as you sit into your chair, working on getting your shins more and more vertical, working on getting your thighs more and more parallel. Squeeze your ankles in, Inhale, lift your arms, palms up. Exhale, forward fold. Taking your head towards your knees, lift your palms up. Think cat in your back. Tone your glutes. Sit back into your heels. Press down in your big toe for balance. And inhale, rise, stand up. Tree pose, Trikonasana. Reach on the inside of your right thigh. First, notice I'm just kickstanding my right knee out toward the right. And then I'm going to reach on the inside of my thigh from my right ankle. I'm going to come either to the root of my inner thigh or below my knee to my shin. You'll press your foot into your leg into your foot. Get nice and strong here. You tuck your tailbone in, and you'll notice this is a hip opener for sure. Also balancing. And for stability, obviously doing this next to a wall is great. Any kind of pose where you're balancing. Hands at heart center works. Classical form is arms overhead, palms together. Relax your neck down. Pull your lowest ribs up. Go ahead and come on out the way you came in, and then second side. Trying to just find stability, get nice and grounded in your standing leg before you reach down and pull your left leg up. Point your toes straight down. Even squeeze behind your knee, that knee pit area. Pass your foot into your leg, leg into your foot. And breathe. Last breath, and work your way out, or follow your way out, like I just did. And make your way to the middle of your mat, facing the long edge. Fingertips together, palms down, and you can step or hop to a wide stance. Spin your right toes out 90 degrees. Arms out. Fingers like blades, like a warrior, as you gaze over your front fingertips. Also check out your feet. So your front heel is intersecting or right in line with your back arch. So wiggle until you get there. Then wiggle long and low in your stance. Press your feet down and apart. And on the exhale, sit down into Warrior Two, bending your front knee. You might notice as you sit down that your knee extends past your ankle. Well, if that's the case, go wiggle longer and lower in your stance so that doesn't happen. Shin is vertical, thigh parallel, one day. Opening up sideways, big hip opener. Squeeze your inner thighs in, move your chest right over your hips. With each exhale, you get a little closer, lowering down. All right, keep this bent leg. Reverse your warrior. Lower your back hand, sliding down. Bring your right tricep to your ear as you reach back. And inhale, unbend. Send your hips back, chest forward. Trikonasana, or triangle. So you can keep a bend in your front knee if you need to, if it feels just funny or super tight. Press down in the outer edge of your front foot. You can even come on the inside of your leg here and press your arm and leg into one another as leverage to open up and reach up for triangle. Don't forget about your breath, your ujjayi, breathing deep inhales, full exhales. Inhale, rise. You're gonna simply pivot on your feet, keeping your wide stance. So wide stance is ankles under wrists. Wiggle till you get there. The intersection is your front heel with your back arch, lining up your back foot with the back of your mat and press down through that outer edge of your back foot that keeps this glute turned on. I'm pressing down and apart in my feet, squeezing my inner thighs in as I bend into my front leg here. shin vertical, front thigh parallel. Turn around just for demoing purposes. But we're here with our left leg, our second side, for Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Let your left knee go out towards your pinky toe. Keep pressing down with your back foot. Notice any discomfort in your knee, and if you need to spiral your toe forward a little bit, or if you need to open up your right hip back a little more. And then reverse warrior. Reaching back, tricep toward ear, maybe reach behind you, grabbing for your front thigh. And breathe. And inhale, unbend that front knee, send your hips back, chest forward. As you lower, as you straighten your front leg and lower your left hand down, extend up through your right fingertips. For Trikonasana, second side. You can reach for your ankle and pull up on your ankle as well. And inhale, rise. Make your way into down dog. And float your right leg high. Swing it through. Lower left knee, top of foot to the floor. Coming into twisted monkey by way of monkey lunge. Right? Inhale, rise for Anjaneyasana. You can even let your right knee go out wider than your hip here. Then spiral your left fingertips toward the outer edge of your mat. Even come off your mat a little bit to lessen the twist in the back bend. As you reach up, twist up. Reach for your back toes. Preventing you from seeing what's happening back there. Reaching for your back foot here. Send your hip back to meet your heel. Then drag your front heel down and forward. It's a big, you don't need to drag your front heel down and forward unless you need a deeper quad stretch. Prioritizing the quad stretch, you can always just do this instead with torso upright and reach back. So this is fine. This is perfect all day long. Maybe not all day long. Quad stretching is, we neglect our quads a lot. I mean, we use them constantly, and we really don't stretch them that much. And slowly lower down here. Step back, down dog. We'll transition to the second side. Lift your left leg up. Step it all the way through. Lower your right knee, top of foot to the floor, and inhale, monkey lunge. Widen your left knee out to the left. Spiral your right fingertips toward the right. As you lower your palm and reach up, twist. Remember, if you're not doing twisted monkey, you can leave your torso upright and just reach back with your right hand or your toes. Connect your hips to your heel here. Then pull forward only if you need to for the quad stretch. Dragging lowered heel and lowered knee toward one another. Lower down without slingshotting. Down dog. Right. Shift forward into plank pose, then lower your knees. Your chest and your chin, but your hips are going to stay 6 to 8 inches off the ground. Your back toes are curled under. This is 8 angle pose. So 8 points of your body touching the ground. So lower knees, chest and chin. Even the tip of your nose. Point your index finger straight ahead. Pull yourself forward like you're in cobra. Tone your glutes to your thighs, knees and ankles in. Inhale, lower all the way down into your belly. Pull yourself up into cobra with elbows bent. Tops of feet on the floor. Press down so much your knees lift up. And lower down on the exhale. Inhale, push up. Into tabletop, then put your feet out in front of you and lay down on your backs for bridge. So for bridge pose, you'll get nice and comfy on your back. And then you'll bring your feet hip distance or wider and you'll press down in your toes, ignite your glutes and thighs. Turn on your legs completely. And now you're laid down here, you're gonna reach for the outer edges of your mat. Before you grip, you're just gonna shrug your shoulders up, begin to work your shoulders underneath you as you grab your mat. Press down slightly with the back of your skull just to keep your neck muscles turned on. Inhale, press down in your feet, lift your hips up. Propel your chest towards your chin, keep your chin out of your chest. Tone your glutes and lift your inner thighs. Lift your outer hips even higher. Exhale, lower down. Bring your feet to the outer edges of your mat. Let your knees fall in toward one another. Flatten your back on the mat. Bring one hand to heart and one hand to belly. Inhale really deep. And exhale fully. Just take a few cleansing breaths here in constructive rest. Tiny bit of ab work squeezed in here for leg lifts. Bring your knees in towards your chest and kick your feet above you. And this will just be kind of low ab work. You'll bring your arms alongside, palm facing down, or you can interlace behind your head, just not your neck, as you kind of squeeze your head in a little bit. Keep your chin out of your chest. So more difficult is going to be shoulder blades off the ground. More doable, just lay back and lower on the exhale. Inhale, lift. And try not to use so much of the rocking momentum, just control it nice and slow and only come up onto like your mid-back. Hovering 6 inches and back up. Keep going, just a couple more. And then knees in towards your chest. Give your shins a hug. Or you can just grab your knees and rock side to side to massage out your back a little bit. And then rock and roll all the way up to a seat. Kick your feet behind you for a more back bend action. We're going to set up for bow pose. So for bow, again, you're down on your belly. You're gonna squeeze your shoulders together and reach back for your ankles. So you'll bring your knees at least hip distance, but before all of that, you can just point your toes straight back before you bend your knees and just kind of lift one leg and kick it backwards, lift the other leg and kick it back. And that's just gonna send the skin on the tops of your thighs in the right direction, just back. Creating a little more space, getting your hips a little flatter onto the mat. Bend your knees, then you'll reach back for either your toes or your ankles. Ankle is going to be a little bit of a deeper back bend. So squeeze your shoulders together on your back here. Inhale, lift your chest. And then you'll inhale and lift up as high as you can, up. Right? So on your own, so tone your glutes, lifting up. And then you'll inhale and kick your feet into your hands at the same time. Rock up onto your pelvis a little more. And exhale, lower. And windshield wiper side to side. And then you'll push yourself back up into tabletop. Kick your feet out in front of you. And then you're to bring your feet facing the long edge of your mat here. So almost like just opening up to the long edge of your mat. Like a wide leg situation like this. And then you're gonna reach back for your glutes and pull them back. And that's just gonna get your sit bones a little closer to the mat. And then when this happens, you might notice you're just collapsing right away. If that's happening, then just bring your fingertips behind you, press down and lift your chest, and just press down in your heels to tone your hamstrings, but lift your chest up and push yourself into that Sukhasana straight spine position with your chest over your hips and over your chest. And just breathe. Or maybe you can reach forward, come down into your forearms, whatever is comfortable for you without having to collapse your back completely. Then from this space, reach and grab your left ankle and bring it into the root of you're gonna bring it almost in a seated tree position to the root of your inner thigh. And for head to knee pose, you're just gonna kind of shift over your extended leg and reach forward, connecting your ribs and thighs here. You can even bend your knee if you need to for tight hamstrings. Reach your arms forward, taking your head towards your shin. And you'll come on out of this and work your way into your second side. So getting at least 3 breaths in each side. So pull your right ankle into the root of your thigh, and you're going to shift, bringing your head toward you or towards your shin, second side. You can press your foot and thigh into one another. Out in front of you. And again, for Dandasana, you're going to grab your glutes and pull them back, just getting your sit bones closer to the mat. And then this is just a really great posture as a pose. It's called staff pose or Dandasana just for posture. Really, really good work on your posture here. And it'll teach you to start to also tilt your pelvis forward a bit. So bring your fingertips behind you, a foot to foot and a half. Inhale, lift your chest up. And then tone your glutes and thighs so much you pop up off the mat a little bit. Tone all the way to your toes and curl them towards you. Maybe bring your palms side by side, fingers facing your toes. And just keep all that strength lifting and breathing. Maybe even close your eyes here and go a little inward. And then from here, you can bring a slight bend in your knees if you need to reach forward, connecting your ribs and thighs here for Paschimottanasana or West stretch. You're gonna extend and reach the outer edges here of your feet, or you can even hook your first 2 fingers and thumb around your big toes and kind of let your elbows go out to the side. And that's just if you find that you're forward folding all the way, no problem, and you just need space to kind of let your arms hang. You can do that. Otherwise, you'll keep your ribs and thighs connected, and you're only gonna work on, you're like, okay, I'll inch my hips back, inch my heels forward, hips back, heels forward, until the bottom rib and thigh remain connected. Then you'll fold, taking your head towards your shin. Stretch your hips back, crown of head forward. And then scoot your hips down, lay down on your back. Bring your knees in towards your chest, recline child's pose. Give your shins a hug. You can even rock side to side. And then taking this time for any other little stretches you feel will finish out your practice, whether that be happy baby or reclined West stretch or anything, you know, a supine twist, whatever you feel will finish you out today. And then give yourself another reclined child's pose. And then extend your legs out in front of you. And you're extending them out in front of you, wide, at least hip distance, maybe wider if you need to let your feet fall out to the side and completely relax your ankles and everything. Then you can work your shoulders underneath you, just flatten out your back. Enough to where you can completely let go. Your shoulders can relax down and open. Your arms by your sides, hands just kind of flop open. Take a big deep breath in through your nose. Part your lips and exhale. If you find there's compression in your back, you can grab the outer edges of your mat and even pull yourself up, and you'll notice your glutes will go down, and that'll create a little extra space in your low back. And with every inhale, you're breathing let, every exhale go. So inhale, let, exhale, go. Inhale, let, and exhale, go. Let your bones be heavy. And eventually the words and focus fade away. Your breath flows back into its natural rhythm. If you're falling deeper into Shavasana, which is corpse pose or pose of repose, it's a state of meditation. And as you fall deeper and deeper, and keep letting go and letting gravity hold you up. Maybe you feel a little tingly, maybe you notice the spaciousness and the lift that this practice has given you. And your job right now is to simply enjoy it and reap the benefit of showing up for yourself today to create space. Be here in Shavasana for just one more minute. I encourage you, if you have more time or you feel your body needs to stay in Shavasana for 5 or 10 more minutes, then fine. Set an alarm maybe. Do that. Otherwise, you can begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Begin to slowly deepen your breath. Bend your knees, roll to your favorite side. Push yourself up to a comfy seat. And I'll meet you here in your comfortable seats. And we'll just take a moment to bring your hands at heart center. Press your thumbs against your sternum. Again, inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, take a moment to bow and acknowledge yourself for practicing today, for showing up and honoring yourself and therefore those around you. May you continue to drop into this space and access this space throughout the rest of your day. I, in fact, challenge you to do so, to take, at least 1 or 2 more times today where you can
It might be in a conversation with someone, it might be, driving down the road, commuting to and from work, it might be in your quiet time, it might be whenever it is, it might be when you're cooking, but just take a moment or two throughout your day, or multiple moments, just to practice dropping in, taking these moments of mindfulness, because that is what is going to provide you with that construct for steadiness and peace to move out of during these challenging, crazy times. And of course, we are all here for you. The Clarity team is here for you to reach out to. And yeah, bring your friends. All right, we'll see you again. I will see you again here in the Facebook group tomorrow at noon for movement meditation. See you then.